Awkward by Sviatlana Shmakova. Cardinal rule number 1 for surviving school. Don't get noticed by the mean kids. Cardinal rule number 2 for surviving school. Seek out groups with similar interests and join them. On her first day at her new school, Pepe Torres, reminds herself of these basics. But when she trips into a quiet boy in the hall, Jamie Thompson, she's already broken the first rule, and the mean kids start calling her the nerder girlfriend. How does she handle this crisis? Brown Girl Dreaming. Raised in South Carolina and New York, Woodson always felt halfway home in each place. In vivid poems, she shares what it was like to grow up as an African American in the 1960s and 1970s, living with the remnants of Jim Crow and her growing awareness of the civil rights movement. Chains. As the Revolutionary War begins, 13-year-old Isabel wages her own fight for freedom. Promised freedom upon the death of her owner, she and her sister, Ruth, in a cruel twist of fate, become the property of a malicious New York City couple, the Locktons, who have no sympathy for the American Revolution and even less for Ruth and Isabel. Fast break. Forced to live on his own after his mom dies and her boyfriend abandons him, 12-year-old Jason does whatever it takes to get by. He will do anything to avoid the foster care system. Besides, his real home has always been on the beat-up basketball court beside the projects in the North Carolina hills, and his family has always been his friends and teammates. He manages to get away with his deception until the day he gets caught stealing a new pair of basketball sneakers. Game over. I lived on Butterfly Hill. Celeste Marconi is a dreamer. She lives peacefully among friends and neighbors and family in the idyllic town of Valparaíso, Chile. Until one day when warships are spotted in the harbor and schoolmates start disappearing from class without a word. Celeste doesn't know quite what is happening, but one thing is clear: no one is safe. Not anyone. Iron Trial. Most kids would do anything to pass the iron trial. Not Callum Hunt. He wants to fail. All his life, Cal has been warned by his father to stay away from magic. If he succeeds at the iron trial and is admitted to the magisterium, he is sure it can only mean bad things for him. So he tries his best to do his worst, and fails at failing. Ruby on the Outside. 11-year-old Ruby Danes is about to start middle school, and only her aunt knows her deepest, darkest, most secret. Her mother is in prison. Secondhand Summer. After his father dies, young Sam Barger must leave his beloved homestead and move to Alaska's largest city. In the summer of 1965, our hero explores a wilderness of a different kind in the urban poverty of Anchorage, where trespassers are not always prosecuted. Stormbreaker. They told him his uncle died in an accident. He wasn't wearing his seatbelt, they said. But when 14-year-old Alex finds his uncle's windshield riddled with bullet holes, he knows it was no accident. Thief. The king's scholar, the Magus, believes he knows the site of an ancient treasure. To attain it for his king, he needs a skillful thief, and he selects Jen from the king's prison. The Magus is interested only in the thief's abilities. What Jen is interested in is anyone's guess. Their journey toward the treasure is both dangerous and difficult.